Good morning to all the students, potential students from India. First off, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Liew-Yueah Cin. And for those students who are here early, you might have overheard that I am actually not a Taiwanese. I'm actually from Malaysia. So I came over to Taiwan about 3 years ago to teach in a university. And currently I'm the assistant professor for the College of Management, and I'm teaching on organization management subjects. And I am also the director of the Office of International Programs for the college. Right. So what I'm going to do today is to talk about a few things. So on my slide, you can see that there are 4 things that I'll be sharing with you. The first one is the background of the College of Management. Second one, I will zoom right into what we call the Global Master of Business Administration, or in short form, we call it the GMBA program. Then I will go into a little bit more detail about what this program is. And then the fourth one will be other features. Then I will pass back to Ms. Ling for the Q&A session. If there's any questions that you have for the GMBA program, I'll be happy to answer to the best of my ability. Right? So the College of Management is not as old as the College of Engineering. We were actually established in 1993, and as
screen?
Are you
sorry?
going to share the screen?
Share the screen.
Are you going to do the presentation? Or
I am. Okay, is my screen shared?
No, your screen is not shared.
Okay, hang on, let me see.
But we are happy to see your face in big size.
Okay, let me go back to this one. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
All right. Okay, as I mentioned, the College of Management was established in 1993. It is currently one of the best management college in Taiwan. As mentioned by Professor Chen earlier, the College of Management is actually ranked 500 plus in the Times Higher Education World Ranking on Business and Economics. Top 350 young universities. And if you look at the universities in Taiwan, there are quite a number of universities that's been listed on the Times Higher Education. But if you zoom in onto the private universities, taking away the public universities, we are actually the top 5 private universities ranked in Taiwan. On top of that, the College of Management is also well recognized. You can see that if you do a ranking order, we are actually 3rd on the citations and 5th on international outlook. So all in all, the College of Management is very well recognized, both in Taiwan and also around the world. And also it was mentioned that the College of Management is actually accredited by the AACSB, the Association to Advanced Collegiate School of Business. And we are one of the earlier one to be accredited by AACSB in Taiwan. And we are also the first university that is certified ISO 50001 in Taiwan. That is on being environmentally friendly and as well as green. Next, let's talk about the master program. As mentioned earlier, most of the programs in YZU University are actually taught in both English and Mandarin. And even for the master programs at YZU Universities and especially at the College of Management, we divided that all the programs into the traditional MBA, which is taught in Mandarin. And we also have a global MBA program, which is taught 100% in English. And for students from India and also from around the world, this will be particularly attractive to them, because that means they do not have to worry about having to write a dissertation in Mandarin, right? So what do we teach in the Global MBA program? The content of the Global MBA program is to focus on the economic trends and management issues, especially in Asia. As some of you might be aware that contemporary management issues, many of these issues and many of these decision models basically comes from the Western countries. Now, as China and the rest of the Asia begin to gain prominence in the global economies, it is also important to think about these management issues as well as decision models from the Asian perspective. And so this is why we choose to focus on economics trends and management issues in Asia. And we do that without forgetting that students who comes from across the world need to also develop cross traits as well as international perspective, because eventually we foresee that eventually many of these students will actually go back to their own country and with this kind of knowledge, and we hope that they'll be able to contribute to the ever-booming global economy. So at this program, with this global MBA program, most of our students actually come from countries all over the world. And later I will have a slide that shows you the diversity that I have in one of my class. Now, I also want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about the PhD programs, and to keep in line with the tradition of YZU University, our PhD program is also taught in Mandarin and English. So for students coming from India in particular, you may be better versed in English, and so you can actually discuss with your professor to write your dissertation in English as well. All right, moving on to the MBA program, the GMBA program. The GMBA program is the same, basically the same as the other MBA programs, which lasts for about 2 years, or if you like to look at it in terms of semester-wise, it is 4 semesters. Right, and in order to graduate from a GMBA, you would need to accumulate 36 credits or 12 subjects in that part, in that sense, and to complete a thesis. Right. So if you look at the 12 subjects or the 12 courses that we are talking about, basically you will be looking at 4 courses that is required. That is the fundamentals of the management. 6 other courses in that builds your specializations and your knowledge in the various areas, and you have 2 courses in other electives. And for students from a non-Chinese background, you will also be required to take some Mandarin courses, and basically this will happen in the first 2 semesters, so that you will be able to get into and familiarize yourself with living in Taiwan. Right, so if you organize all those courses into a pyramid, so you can see at the bottom of the pyramid is actually the 4 required courses. Okay, and then at the second level, we will then focus or zoom into knowledge that is related to decision making management. So in fundamentals and tools, we will talk about quantitative methods, research methods, and then we will also talk a little bit of, you're also required to take cultural and management subjects and do some industry practice. So it is not 100% academic studying all the way. The course is designed in such a way whereby you will have a mixture of knowledge and theories, as well as a chance to apply those knowledge and theories in industry practice. And of course, like I say, at the third level, you will have other electives. You can choose, a student can choose other electives based on their interests to make up for the 6 credits. The Mandarin course, unfortunately, carries no credits. But as I say, it is basically offered in the first 2 semesters to help you assimilate into the Taiwanese daily lives. And then at the end of it, it will be a thesis, which also happens to be 0 credits, but it's something that you need to write in order to graduate successfully. Okay, so let's come back to look at some of the required courses. I mentioned that there are 4 required courses in the GMBA program. So these are the 4 required courses. The organization behavior theory and practice. We talk about life, okay, and life of an employee in an organization, and how these individuals behave that influence how groups operates, and how the groups or departments operates that eventually influence the organization as a whole. And over here, we will basically talk a lot about what managers need to understand, what they need to master, and what they need to be able to see, and some of the options, the tools that they will help them with their decisions in order to ensure that the organizations perform at a tip-top condition. Not forgetting that finance is also very important for an organization. A very good control in terms of how money is used and how to source for money, okay? Like borrowing from the bank, how much to borrow, which bank to borrow from, who has the highest interest rate and who has a lower interest rate, and how do we make use of this money. We will discuss that in manageable finance. We also talk about business strategy in terms of planning and practice, in terms of how we need to put visions and missions into operational blocks of 5 years, 10 years, or even as short as 1 year. How do you make that do that in an organization? And not forgetting that every organization basically are out there to sell some products or services. So having a good marketing strategies will also help in that sense, right? So these are the 4 courses that GMBA students will be studying. And then from this basic 4 courses, you will then get on to another group of subjects, which is on the fundamentals and tools. So if you look at the left-hand side of the table, I basically classify them into 5 different groups of subjects. But mind you, some of these groupings may be increased to cater for the current needs. For example, this year we added, we actually changed some of the courses under the marketing group so that it reflects a more emphasis towards digital marketing, and also how do we transform consumer behavior in the digital age. All right, but basically, as a student, you will then have a freedom of choosing courses based on your liking in different combinations to fulfill your fundamentals and tools, right? And then on cultural and management, as well as industry practice, we currently offer 2 specialized subjects for each. And again, as a student, you decide which course you would like better, and then you can enroll in those courses. All right. Now, as a professor from organization management, I basically teach the basic course, which is the organizational behavior theory and practice. And I also happen to teach another course, which is called the special topics in cultural diversity in this group this semester. So if you look at it, YZU University, the GMBA program basically runs a small class system whereby we will try to keep the number of students within 30 students in each class. Now, this is to ensure that we are able to take care of the students, as mentioned earlier, that we do take very good care of our students. I find that it is also particularly effective to have an in-class discussion with about 30 students. Thereby, we will be able to increase the quality of the contact and keep the exchange of viewpoints of the students as diversified as possible, and also as being informative as possible. You can see that from this world map that I show over here. In my cultural diversity class, currently I have about 23 students from all over the world, and each of these dots indicates the country of origin, the country where students come from. And you can also see that over here there is an interesting dot over here, whereby I have one student from India. And these students did not sign up for our GMBA program, but instead she came from another department, the electrical engineering. And I think she is interested to learn about cultural diversity, and she has actually signed up for my course over here. All right. And finally, on the 4th, as mentioned also earlier, that the MBA program is not just academic. What we hope students, international students, to be able to take up is actually in terms of how the Taiwanese society work, how people in a different culture interacts with each other. I always tell students that the option of going overseas to study is not just to get a degree or a certificate as in a piece of paper. It is your life experience, your living experience in that particular country, the culture, that will allow you to pick up as much information as possible. Therefore, we will also encourage students to participate, to be active and participate in all the activities that we offer for them. So we hope that with this information, you will be thinking seriously about coming to YZU universities and to take up our MBA, GMBA program. And I do know that there are quite a number of students who are basically interested in MBA programs or business or management courses, including students who are thinking about starting your own business. We believe this will be a good program for you to take up at YZU University. So that's all my presentation, and thank you for listening. I would like to pass back to Ms. Lin.